Mr. Statlander, you've been involved with HR for manufacturers for a good portion of your career. How have training and workforce needs evolved in the space over your time?
Thank you. It has evolved significantly over that time as modern technology has emerged. Today, I work in an advanced steel finishing facility that uses high-tech equipment and requires good knowledge of instrumentation, automation, basic electrical, requires a good bit of math. Those are things that didn't necessarily exist in the kinds of manufacturing, at least I participated in 20 and 30 years ago. So as it's evolved over that time, it's been extremely critical to continue to enhance the skill sets of all of the people that are graduating, enabling them to either, go into industrial jobs or to go into programs such as two-year colleges in order to meet the demands of the workforce needs.
What is the youngest age that you've heard of for apprenticeships that you would use in your line of work?
18 would be what we do for our apprenticeships, where they actually work our positions, mentored in the field. We do high school dual enrollments where they're not performing actual, work on the machines.
Right. Mm-hmm. Ms. Travis, you've been a helpful resource to lawmakers who are considering changes to state and federal legislation when it comes to workforce. Can you talk about the current WIOA system and what we can do as lawmakers to possibly improve it?
Thank you very much, Senator Tuberville, Chairman. Really do appreciate that question. I think one of the most important things that we can do to improve our workforce system in general is to enhance our systems so that education and workforce are complementing each other, so they are not competing both for dollars and for time, that we are truly creating a seamless pipeline for our system and for workforce development. Right now, as I mentioned in my testimony earlier, only 0.1% of GDP in this country goes to technical education and these programs that we offer. And I think that looking at these and making sure that we're spending our dollars so that we are creating a pipeline that truly does sustain the workforce that America actually needs and depends on. We invest less than almost any other industrialized nation in technical education and training our future workforce. So I think if we're focusing on WIOA and also on work-based learning opportunities, so that when students and when our adults actually get into the workforce, they are actually already know what the industry is that they are entering into, and they have those opportunities early on. So really creating that pipeline that we all need. And really one additional piece to that is making sure that we are reauthorizing the National Apprenticeship Act. I think that is another very important. As I mentioned in my comments earlier, I think the four main things that I would recommend is, one, that we strengthen career and technical education and make a larger investment there, that we look at youth work-based learning programs and look at those as well. And the second and third things are actually investing in our CTE instructors, because without those instructors, we do not have a skilled workforce, and making sure that we also reauthorize the National Apprenticeship Act. Those are the things that I would recommend that we concentrate on right now.
Thank you. Mr. Cox, lastly, you talked about ACCS's Innovation Center and how it developed the skills and success. Can you talk about the program for a minute and its industrial-driven design?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Senator. It's a unique program. We actually started this program because small business came to us and said, we need help for training. And I mentioned earlier in the testimony that we started with hospitality, but I'll share a few of the other training programs that we have built. I think we're up to around 50 courses that can be taken in this program that's usually around 2 weeks. Small businesses, such as grocers. The Grocers Association came to us, and we have Piggly Wigglies in the state of Alabama that these local owners have problems finding someone who can become and cut meat. So butcher training, they were struggling. So what we were able to do is create a program. We brought in subject matter experts, and we built a training course where once a year in a rural community, we can go in and local grocery stores in their area can send young people or even adults that are working in their grocery store and showing up and have some promise. Let them send them to this training and let them go back and go to work maybe with a butcher somewhere else. So we do anywhere from fiber optics training that we built at the request of industry, nurse. We're in the healthcare field where we're doing nursing assistant program, which that is actually going to be a national model. So the Skills for Success is a hybrid model where students, for example, will learn the course. It's kind of like a YouTube course, and they learn online for the first part in their theory, and then they have to show up for a lab. So if you're a butcher training, safety and all of those things, they can watch the videos online, and then when they show up, they're prepared to actually do a lab and actually show that they can master the skill. It's practice. A lot of work with the Road Builders Association. We're training folks on the road builders equipment, also with agriculture and even small equipment like excavators and things like that, where industry is just really needing people to be trained, because what we're finding out is this equipment is not easy. There's technology there, and someone has to train them to do it. And our team has stepped up to the plate through Skills for Success to help small business and industry in the state of Alabama, which we sometimes forget about is a large part of industry in Alabama, is small business. So we're trying to take care of them, Senator.
We just got a few minutes here to wrap this up. I want to give each one of you 1 minute to say one of the most important things that we have to do for workforce development for the next few years. Mr. Ryan?
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Post-secondary work-based learning. Perkins is almost agnostic about how post-secondary work-based learning exists. I think it is a thing that could revolutionize our higher education system in the country, and I agree with your comments that it should start with our community and technical colleges.
Thank you. Mr. Stadlander?
Thank you. We must increase the labor participation rate. People often have the desire, but they lack the exposure to modern manufacturing and the accesses that can make them successful. If we can increase the labor participation rate, we can make America more competitive and provide good, high-paying jobs to all of those who join.
I used to tell my football players sometimes they didn't want to do something, but if you have the will, there's a way, and same thing in workforce. Ms. Travis?
Absolutely. Strengthen the federal investment in career and technical education in programs that we know that work. Career and technical education, when coupled with career and technical student organizations, is learning that works for America's future workforce. So strengthen the federal investment in career and technical education and career and technical student organizations. Expand the infrastructure in youth work-based learning. Just like my colleague mentioned, post-secondary is so important, but also having those opportunities early on makes a difference in their future careers and the success of our workforce. And actually growing the pipeline of skilled CTE instructors, because without our CTE instructors, there is no skilled workforce. So we have to make sure that we're making investments in methods and processes that we know that work. And also reauthorization of the National Apprenticeship Act and ensuring that as we are looking at these reauthorizations and strengthening our federal investments, that we're continuing to make investments in public career and technical education where that training happens.
Thank you. Dr. Cox?
Senator, I think there's three things that come to mind. I mentioned earlier, us being agile and us being able to adjust to what industry needs are. Second is access, and I'm going to mention access. One of the things that we're focusing on in our state budget or legislative year, calendar year this year is we've got to pay our instructors. They're behind because if you're a nurse, you can work in the hospital and make more than our nursing instructors in our community colleges. Even if you go to Enterprise, Alabama, and you're going to the aviation school, when you graduate after 3 semesters with a long certificate, you can get a job making more than the instructor that just taught them. So we're having to adjust. That's not a federal thing, that's a state thing that we're working on, but I think that goes back to access. We got to have the instructors so we can give the students all over Alabama the access they need. So that's a focus of ours, and I think is important. And then I think letting everyone in Alabama, and I think this goes back, we talked some about the people that are not in the workforce. We have to let them know that we have a place for them. And I think we're doing a better job of that in Alabama than we ever have. And I think we're starting to see people understand that they can walk through our doors without an education, without a high school diploma, and know that a local community college can help them find something that will make their life better.
Thank you. I want to thank all the witnesses for being here today, and